So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
All right, so there is our man of the hour, Zohran Mamdani, MAGA, that is your mayor now. Get used to it. In all seriousness, a big night for Democrats. We won in Virginia, we won in New Jersey, we won in Pennsylvania, and we won in New York. Remarkably, one of the things that's not getting as much attention, we won by bigger margins than was projected by virtually everyone. Here's what Hakeem Jeffries had to say. Democrats are smoking Donald Trump and Republican extremists throughout the country. Enough with the premature obituaries. The Democratic Party is back. And Hakeem may be right. I obviously hope he's right. One of the bigger stories, though, about last night in particular is not only Zohran's victory, but how Zohran won and the two-faced war that he was fighting. And that's what I want to get into a little bit more today. First, though, here's what Trump had to say about the landslide victories by Democrats last night. Quote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the 2 reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters. Could also be that Republicans are cutting food stamps for 40 million people while abducting immigrants off the streets and throwing them in unmarked vans. We won't really know. But the big thing let's talk about is Zohran's victory, because it's very representative of where I think the Democratic Party is going to go in the future, whether the old guard likes it or not. Remarkably, Chuck Schumer didn't even endorse Zohran before the election. And, you know, Chuck Schumer is somebody who says you got to get behind every Democrat. Blue no matter who. And I'm blue no matter who. And whoever emerges, whether it's a more centrist Democrat or a more progressive Democrat, we're going to unite against this fucking evil that is MAGA, this authoritarian cult conspiracy theory movement that is MAGA. But what Democrats showed, in establishment Democrats, I should say, in this election in New York is basically that they're not going to get behind progressives. At least a large contingent will not get behind progressives if they win in the primary. And additionally, that they're going to throw dishonest attacks at the progressives. So I want to show you what AOC had to say about last night's victory for Zohran. Here's that clip.
Is that the Democratic Party cannot last much longer by denying the future, by trying to undercut our young, by trying to undercut a next generation of diverse and upcoming Democrats that have the parties, the actual party, our actual electorate and voter support.
And that's obviously true. Where is the unity? You can't undercut. I mean, Zohran won people 18 to 29 by 40 points. You wanted this energy. You wanted this movement that could combat MAGA, which frankly we need. We need a motivated and energized base. And when it comes along, you fucking throw him to the side and refuse to endorse him. AOC went on to say this as well.
Because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican. They were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a 2-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody, we have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind. And
that's exactly right. We're either going to do it together or you are going to be left behind. Because frankly, people are desperate. People don't know how they're going to put food on their table. They don't know how they're going to afford rent. Prices are going up. ICE, this extrajudicial secret police, is disappearing people off the streets. People are fucking desperate. We want whatever it's going to take to beat this madness. And somebody comes along with a campaign that is laser focused on affordability. And you may not agree with all of his policies. I don't agree with everything Zohran's saying. But the attacks that he faced were insane. They took him out of context. They smeared him as a bigot. The attacks that he faced were beyond disingenuous, and they didn't just come from Republicans, they came from Democrats. Now I'm going to show you some of the attacks that actually did come from Republicans that didn't get, you didn't have some widespread condemnation of these attacks by Democrats. They kind of just stood back and took it. Here is what Andy Ogles put out 2 days before the election. Not even being coy about it, they're just calling him a terrorist. Here's Greg Abbott, who says, "Join me for a moment of silence for NYC. Thoughts and prayers." Yeah, fuck you, Greg Abbott. But there's a special place in hell, and I want to talk a little bit about somebody who pisses me off more than anyone, really, is Rep. Randy Fine from Florida, this fucking piece of shit who is filled with hatred. He said, quote, "Zohran Mamdani must be deported immediately. The only thing I want to see him running for is his gate at JFK for his deportation flight back to Uganda." Okay, first off, Randy Fine, this absolutely disgusting piece of hateful shit, is screaming from the rooftops right now about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and how anti-Semitic the Republican Party is getting. And he's right. At the same time, this is what MAGA has always been, a conspiratorial, hateful movement that is fundamentally fueled by hatred of others. So Randy Fine, who frankly is a disgrace to Jewish people. I'm Jewish. Fuck you, Randy Fine. You're a disgrace. You put that fucking kippah on and you hate every group. You've gone along with MAGA, and really, you're just the fucking poster child of hatred in this country at this point. You're disgusting. He went on to say, quote, "Legal immigrants who hate America elected a communist Muslim jihadist. New York City has fallen. America is next if we don't stop it," end quote. Randy Fine, there's a special fucking place in hell for you. He then said, "Zohran Mamdani wants to turn NYC into the trans capital of the world. Don't believe me? Watch this video. Wake up now or lose your city." Randy, again, fuck you. Randy Fine is MAGA. He's just Jewish MAGA. And so he doesn't realize that this conspiratorial movement of hatred is coming for him. And really it's fueled by people like him who thought that we can have this sustainable movement built on hatred of other people and conspiracies, and it won't come back to me. Well, it's coming back to you now, Randy. And frankly, we don't want you on our side because you're a piece of shit. Here's the New York Post today. "On your marks, get set, Zoe. Socialist Mamdani wins the race for mayor, the red apple." And that New York Post article is it's beyond parody at this point. I want to show you a little bit more of Zohran's speech, and then we'll close this out.
"We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks. We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed. New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Does that sound like somebody who is filled with hatred? Does that sound like somebody who is not inclusive of all the things we care about? Does that sound like somebody who is going to turn New York into a Sharia law hellhole? Does that sound like a terrorist? Obviously not. I mean, the fact that we even have to say that is ridiculous. But we have a very real fight on our hands going forward. Priority number one is to defeat Trump and MAGA. MAGA is an existential threat to everything this country cares about, everything I care about. What ICE is doing right now, we basically done away with the Fourth Amendment. They're just stopping people on the street. You're Latino, show me your fucking papers. This country is largely unrecognizable from what it was 10 years ago. And Democrats like Chuck Schumer told us this in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was on the ballot.
For every blue-collar Democrat we will lose in Western PA, we will pick up 2-3 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Here's the problem, Chuck. You were wrong, okay? You were wrong. How you thought we defeat Trumpism was wrong. We now live in a country that is unrecognizable from a decade ago when you said this is how we win. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I voted for Joe Biden. I voted for Kamala Harris. I supported Bernie in the primaries in 2016 and 2020, but I got in line after the primaries to defeat the greater evil that is MAGA. Now when progressives win, it's your fucking turn to get in line. And you didn't here. In the first showing where a progressive could really win, you didn't get in line. So my message to you is either get in line or get the fuck out of the way. Because people are desperate. I am desperate. Immigrants are being thrown in unmarked vans by people with masks. What fucking country do you think we live in? We have to defeat this shit. I happen to think that a necessary prerequisite to beat this is an energized and motivated base. That's my belief. I'm going to vote for whoever wins the Democratic primaries in 26 and 28. I may prefer the progressives who get most of the energy, but I'll vote for whoever. You do the same, or you're fucking out, period. We want you gone because you're not blue no matter who. You're blue or fucking pack up and go home. We've had it with that shit. The stakes are too high for this type of bullshit. And so that's the end of my rant. It was a huge day for Democrats. Victories across the board. Progressives, centrists, great. We need to beat the Republican Party. They are a criminal organization. But Democrats who are stalling other Democrats winning primaries, we don't have time for it anymore because things are desperate. With Really American, I'm Justin Horwitz. We've got a lot more coming going forward, going into the midterms. Hopefully more Democratic victories. If you're like me, hopefully more progressive victories. But if you're not, I'm a Democrat. I'm blue no matter who. Got a lot coming going forward. Subscribe, like, hit notifications. We love you. Take care.